Hello and welcome to the news tonight. Glad you could join us this Saturday evening. Here are the headlines of this hour. Army Chief General Bipin Rawat says security situation has improved considerably in the Kashmir Valley, but unprovoked firing by Pakistani forces kills an army porter and injures a girl in Baramulla district. Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu is discharged from AIIMS Hospital in sound health after undergoing an angioplasty. Doctors advise him complete rest for the next 3 days. Police Commemoration Day observed across the country. Home Minister Rajnath Singh leads chief ministers of many states in paying homage to police martyrs. And Spain imposes direct rule on Catalonia in response to its attempt to secede. Senate to vote on the move to impose Article 155 that has never been used in the country's democracy so far. Our top story starting from Kashmir. On a day when Pakistani firing claimed one more life along the line of control in Jammu and Kashmir, Army Chief Bipin Rawat addressed media persons on the sidelines of an army function in Jammu and said that the situation in Kashmir Valley is improving. However, normal life in Kashmir was affected on Saturday due to a strike called by separatist groups.
An army porter was killed and a girl injured in firing by Pakistani troops along the line of control in Jammu and Kashmir on Saturday. Pakistani troops resorted to indiscriminate firing in Kamal Kote sector in Baramulla district. The Indian Army responded in an equal measure.
पाकिस्तान जो एक डेस्परेट हो चुका है, एक आतंकवादी देश है, फेल्ड स्टेट है, दुनिया में उसको डिप्लोमेटिकली जो है बिल्कुल वो आइसोलेट हो चुका है। आज चाहे वो टेररिज्म के जो है फ्रंट के ऊपर उसको जो मुंह की खानी पड़ रही है, उसके भेजे हुए उग्रवादी मारे जा रहे हैं, उनके जो नॉमिनेट किए हुए जो उग्रवादी कमांडर है उनको एलिमिनेट किया जा रहा है। आज वो फ्रस्ट्रेट है और उसको लगता है कि आने वाले वक्त में बर्फ पड़ेगी, उससे पहले मैं कुछ जो है उग्रवादियों को अंदर धकेल सकूं, लेकिन उनको कामयाबी नहीं मिल रही है। तो सुरंग के जो टनल निकाल के अंदर आने की कोशिश कर रहा है, लेकिन उसको मुंह की खानी पड़ रही है।
In another development, Chief of Army Staff General Bipin Rawat said the security situation in Kashmir Valley has improved considerably. He added that the army is capable enough of dealing with any security-related challenges across the state. Discussing the security situation in Jammu and Kashmir, he said the terror camps in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir are still intact and the army has been dealing effectively with infiltration attempts from across the line of control.
I think the security situation in the Kashmir Valley is improving, and what is happening now in the Kashmir Valley is possibly highlighting the frustration of the terrorists and those who are supporting them. Security is very much a cause of concern, and we are taking action to ensure that security of all military establishments and garrisons is taken care of.
Describing radicalization as a worldwide phenomenon, General Rawat admitted it was a matter of concern.
I mean, there are any number of people willing to join in with the army and support the army in the Hearts and Minds campaign. And as far as terrorism is concerned, it is something which will always have ups and downs in terrorism. We will keep eliminating terrorism. Some wayward youth, because of the social media campaign and radicalization, will continue to join them. But we also find that most of them are now coming overground and are surrendering to the security.
Meanwhile, normal life in Kashmir was affected today due to a strike called by separatist groups to protest against braid chopping incidents in the valley. Authorities imposed restrictions in several areas of the city as a precautionary measure. Schools, shops and other business establishments remained closed due to the strike. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha Television.
In other news, there was no let-up in smog in New Delhi on Saturday. Days after the city celebrated Diwali, air pollution levels in New Delhi jumped 18 times the healthy limit on Friday after a night of fireworks. A cloud of thick, toxic haze reduced visibility on roads on Saturday morning, and residents complained of irritated eyes, breathlessness and aggravated coughs. Levels of PM 2.5, the tiny particulate matter that reaches deep into the lungs, remains alarmingly high. Apart from the sale of firecrackers, the ban on the sale of firecrackers before Diwali, the Supreme Court also ordered diesel generators and a power plant to be shut down to try to reduce pollution. However, Delhiites claim that there has been hardly any relief.
दौड़ने में थोड़ा सांस ज़्यादा चढ़ रहा है और इतना दिक्कत नहीं होता था, लेकिन अभी जो प्रदूषण की वजह से ना सांस ज़्यादा चढ़ रहा है इसमें।
कब से दिक्कत हो रही है?
ये अभी दीपावली के बाद ही शुरुआत है।
And talking of health concerns, Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu, who underwent angioplasty yesterday at AIIMS's New Delhi hospital, was discharged today. Naidu underwent an angioplasty yesterday which showed a significant blockage in one of the main arteries. A stent was placed to treat the condition. The Vice President was discharged today in sound health and all parameters were reported to be normal. President Ramnath Kovind and Prime Minister Modi spoke to the Vice President over the phone and inquired about his health. He has been advised complete rest for the next 3 days. And also as a precaution, visitors have been asked not to visit him. The Vice President's office said this in a press release. Police Commemoration Day was observed across the country on Saturday. Home Minister Rajnath Singh laid a wreath and paid homage to the police martyrs at Police Memorial Ground in New Delhi. Heads of all central paramilitary forces and the Commissioner of Delhi Police also attended the ceremony hosted by the Central Industrial Security Force. The day was observed across many states as well. In Uttar Pradesh, Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath also paid homage at Lucknow, while Karnataka Chief Minister Siddaramaiah laid a wreath in Bengaluru. Madhya Pradesh Chief Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan attended the Police Commemoration Day and hailed the police force for their contribution. The day commemorates the sacrifices of 10 policemen while defending the borders with China in 1959, besides 34,408 other police personnel who have sacrificed their lives since independence to safeguard the unity and integrity of the nation.
मैं देश के उन सभी शहीद पुलिस जनों, जिनमें उत्तर प्रदेश पुलिस के 76 बहादुर पुलिस कार्मिक भी शामिल हैं, को श्रद्धांजलि अर्पित करता हूं, जिन्होंने वर्ष 2016-17 में कर्तव्य की वेदी पर अपने प्राण न्योछावर कर दिए।
मध्य प्रदेश पुलिस की गौरवशाली परंपरा है, वो आंतरिक सुरक्षा की रक्षा का सवाल हो या देश जब आह्वान करे तो सीमाओं पर उनको अपने प्राण गंवाने पड़ते हैं।
The Reserve Bank of India today said that linking the biometric identity number Aadhaar with bank accounts is now mandatory. The RBI clarification followed media reports quoting a reply to an RTI application which suggested the Apex Bank has not issued any order for mandatory Aadhaar linkage with bank accounts. A Reserve Bank statement said these rules have already been published in the official gazette on the 1st of June this year. It also said that these rules have statutory effect and as such, banks have to implement them without awaiting further instructions. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will visit Gujarat tomorrow, marking the third visit to the state this month. During the visit, the Prime Minister will inaugurate and lay the foundation stones of a number of projects in Bhavnagar and Vadodara districts. In Vadodara, Modi will inaugurate 8 different projects worth 1,140 crore rupees. The projects are a water treatment plant, 2 flyovers, a deer safari park and a 6 crore rupee veterinary hospital, including many others. He will also address people at Navlakhi compound in the city. Meanwhile, the Prime Minister's parliamentary constituency, Varanasi, will soon get 2 sewage treatment plants or STPs as part of the government's bid to curb Ganga water pollution. In a statement, the Water Resource Ministry has said that the treatment plants, having a total 260 million litres daily capacity, will be commissioned at Varanasi's Dinapur and Goithaha before March next year. The government had recently awarded the contract for construction of the 50 MLD capacity sewage treatment plants at Ramana in Varanasi. The ministry said that these treatment plants will together create a total sewage treatment capacity of 412 MLD. A trash skimmer has also been operational since March 2017 to address the concerns of floating waste on the river. With that, a look at what else made news across the country today in Nationwide. Already battered by heavy rain and gusty winds, Odisha is likely to experience more downpour till Sunday due to a depression that disrupted normal life in many parts of the state. According to the meteorological department, the depression moved northward and lay centered about 25 kilometers west of Chandbali and crossed the Odisha coast last night. The depression caused moderate to heavy rain in most parts of Gangetic West Bengal as well, and the Met Department forecasts more rain still tomorrow. The Met also said that the depression over southeast Jharkhand and the Gangetic West Bengal moved east-northeastwards overnight and lay centered over the Gangetic West Bengal and neighboring areas. The Sri Lanka Navy apprehended 4 Indian fishermen and seized a boat. All the fishermen were from Rameshwaram in Tamil Nadu. This is the second incident within a week. Earlier, 8 fishermen were detained by the Sri Lanka Navy while they were fishing near the Delft Island. Ten people, including 3 women and 7 men, have been killed and few injured after a truck overturned in Maharashtra's Sangli district in the wee hours. The injured were rushed to the nearby hospital for medical treatment. The truck carrying tiles was coming in from Karnataka to Karad in Maharashtra. A quick break here and we'll be back with the top international stories in a bit. Stay with us.
Situated at a height of 3,048 meters, the town of Tawang in Arunachal Pradesh is claimed by both India and China. It was historically a part of Tibet, inhabited by the Moon Pass. The Tawang monastery in the town is the largest Buddhist monastery in India. It was inspired by the 5th Dalai Lama, Ngawang Lobsang Gyatso, and was built in 1681 by Merit Lama Lotre Gyatso. Tawang Monastery stands on top of the mountain, 10,000 feet above sea level, also known as the Golden Namgyal Latse. The centerpiece of the 3-storied monastery is a massive, richly adorned statue of Lord Buddha, whose benign presence blesses one and all.
Tales that inspire. Stories of social change. A salute to diversity. Promoting public discourse. Events that motivate. Inspiring the innovative spirit. Watch Rajya Sabha television documentaries.
Taking its name from the abundance of simul or red silk cotton trees that bloom vividly here. The Simlipal National Park is home to 3 of India's biggest animal species: tiger, Asiatic elephant, and gaur. Spread over a sprawling area of 2,750 square kilometers, set on a wide expanse of sal forest, this park is nestled in the very center of Mayurbhanj in Odisha. It is one of the most breathtaking nature reserves in India, with forests, grassy meadows, and some beautiful waterfalls like Joranda and Badehipani. It is also home to an astounding 1,078 species of plants, including 94 species of orchids.
Welcome back. Let's get you the top international stories. And the Spanish government today decided to take away powers from the Catalan government by triggering Article 155, imposing central rule in Catalonia. Spanish Prime Minister Mariano Rajoy explained the measure in an address to the nation.
The Spanish government on Saturday triggered Article 155 to impose central rule in Catalonia. In an address to the nation, Spanish Prime Minister Mariano Rajoy outlined the scope and timing of the measure.
El gobierno ha tenido que aplicar el artículo 155 de la Constitución. No era ni nuestro deseo ni nuestra intención. No lo fue nunca. Y creo que esto lo sabe el conjunto de la opinión pública española.
The decision to impose the measure for the first time was taken after a crisis cabinet meeting. It allows central authorities to intervene if a regional government doesn't comply with its constitutional obligations or acts in a way that seriously undermines the interests of Spain.
El artículo 55 es un artículo constitucional, pero es un artículo que solo se aplica en circunstancias excepcionales. De hecho, en España estuvo a punto de aplicarse en una ocasión bajo el gobierno de González y al final no se hizo porque las cosas se recondujeron a la legalidad.
The measure will now require an absolute majority vote from the Spanish Senate that will meet next Friday to address the measure. Rajoy, who leads a minority government, has the support of the Centre-Left Socialist Party and Centre-Right Citizens Party, which will be enough votes to enact Article 155.
Y aplicamos el artículo 155 porque ningún gobierno, insisto, ningún gobierno de ningún país democrático puede aceptar que se ignore la ley, que se viole la ley, que se cambie la ley y que todo ello se haga pretendiendo imponer sus criterios a los demás.
The measure has never been used, is only 2 paragraphs long and does not provide a blueprint for implementation. The announcement was greeted by independent supporters to rally in the Catalan capital, Barcelona. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha Television.
The Islamic State today claimed responsibility for the latest attacks on a Shiite mosque in Kabul and a Sunni mosque in Western Ghor province that claimed at least 72 lives. In the attack in Kabul, a suicide bomber walked into the Imam Zaman Mosque where he detonated his explosives vest. The Afghan president issued a statement condemning both the attacks and said the country's security forces would step up the fight to eliminate the terrorists who target Afghans of all religions and tribes. Shiite Muslims have suffered a series of attacks in Afghanistan in recent months, many of them claimed by the Sunni Muslim militants of the Islamic State. In a second suicide attack in the city within 24 hours, at least 15 military cadets were killed in Kabul, bringing the death toll of a week of attacks by various militant groups to around 200. Defense Ministry spokesperson Daulat Waziri said that 4 others were injured in the explosion at the gates of the Marshal Fahim Military Academy as they were leaving by a minibus. The bomber was supposedly on foot.
جمع کرده میتا پرید میتونه کلی که نفرات روی مسجد افتیده که روی مسجد آتش گرفته شیشه 4 طرف میپرید داخل مسجد و از بیرون پریدند و اونجا ما اونجا رفتیم دیگه پریدیم دیگه گوش موش تاب مو همه سریس و حافظه بخیر دیگه عزیز رفته بود بخیر دیگه هیچ نفهمیدیم دیگه
شوکه شدن مردم به خاطر که هم شهدا زیاد بوده زخمی زیاد بود خورد کلان زن بچه چیزا بوده.
Thousands of anguished Somalis gathered to pray at the site of the country's deadliest attack, while the toll rose to 358 and dozens remained missing. Somalia's government has blamed the bombing on extremist group Al-Shabaab, which has not yet claimed responsibility for the attack. The United States is expected to play a supporting role in the new offensive that President Mohammed Abdullahi Mohammed is set to launch today, according to reports. Somalia's president will announce a state of war against the Al-Shabaab extremist group blamed for the bombing. The U.S. military says it carried out a drone strike this week against Al-Shabaab in Somalia shortly after the extremist group was blamed for the country's deadliest attack. With that, a look at some more updates from across the world in Global Buzz. Police detained a suspect matching descriptions by witnesses in Munich's knife attack in which 4 people were injured on Saturday. Police urged people in the Bavarian capital to stay at home after a man on a black bicycle injured 4 and attempted to stab 2 others. According to the Munich police, 5 men and 1 woman were attacked. However, the attacker's motive was unclear. 3 foreign workers were killed and 11 others missing after a landslide at a construction site in Georgetown, Penang in Malaysia on Saturday. According to the officials, the bodies of 2 Indonesians and 1 Myanmarese were pulled out from the debris, while 2 other workers escaped with light injuries. The landslide occurred at a construction site where 2 49-story towers were under construction. Brazilian police on Friday arrested more than 90 people accused of being part of a massive pedophilia ring who were directing sexual feelings towards children by producing or distributing pornographic material of children and adolescents over the internet. The operation reached 24 of the 26 states and the capital district of Brasilia. More than 1,000 agents were involved in the operation. U.S. Secretary of State Rex Tillerson started his 8 days-long travel on Friday that will take him to Riyadh, Doha, Islam, New Delhi and Geneva. His first stop will be in Saudi Arabia, where he'll be taking part in the inaugural Coordination Council meeting with Iraqi and Saudi officials. He will then travel to Doha to meet with Qatari leaders, followed by Islamabad, New Delhi and then Geneva. And finally, let's get you all the updates from the wall of sports in Sportsbeat. India defeated Pakistan 4-0 in the Asia Cup hockey in Dhaka on Saturday to enter the finals of the tournament. Satbir Singh scored the opener in the 39th minute. Harmanpreet Singh, Lalit Upadhyay and Gurjant followed with a goal each. India kept a steady pace to frustrate the Pakistani attack and pull it out of the match. They will now face the winner from the Malaysia and Korea match in the final. Indian shuttler Kidambi Shrikant defeated world champion Victor Axelsen in the men's singles quarterfinals in the Denmark Open Super Series Premier Badminton in Odense on Friday. Shrikant beat Axelsen 14-21, 22-20, 21-7 in a 56-minute-long match. In the women's category, Saina Nehwal lost to her Japanese opponent Akane Yamaguchi 10-21, 13-21 in her quarterfinal match of the tournament. The Indian team entered the finals of the World Archery Championships in Mexico on Saturday. Indian team comprising Trisha Deb, Lili Chanu Paunam and Jyoti Sureka Vennam defeated Germany 232-227 in the compound women's team semi-finals to set up a gold medal match against Colombia. Paunam and Vennam both finished in the top 10 individually at the championships, while Deb came 17th after losing in the third round. World champion Marc Marquez took his Honda onto pole position for the 4th year in a row at the Australian Grand Prix on Phillip Island on Saturday. Marquez struck a major blow to his main rival, Andrea Dovizioso. Spain's Marquez lead Italy's Dovizioso by 11 points with 75 up for grabs in the last 3 races of the season. Marquez completed the 4.448-kilometer track in 1 minute 28 seconds to knock Maverick Vinales from the top of the time sheets and claim his 44th career MotoGP pole. In cricket, Pakistan defeated Sri Lanka by 7 wickets in the 4th day-night international in Sharjah on Friday. Medium pacer Hassan Ali claimed 3 wickets for 37 runs, while spinner Shadab Khan's 2 wickets for 29 and Imad Wasim's 2 for 13 helped Pakistan get Sri Lanka all out for 173 in 43.4 overs. Thirimanne was the highest scorer for Sri Lanka with 62 runs, while Babar Azam 69 not out and Shoaib Malik 69 runs helped Pakistan clinch victory in just 39 overs.
The skipper, what a start on debut! That'll liven up the...
That's it on the news tonight. Thank you so much for joining us.